Welcome all. This is November Fire. Is that what I'm gonna call it? I was gonna call it after a Champagne album. I can't remember. Maybe it's called November Fire. I'll have to double check after this. So we're starting off the month a couple days late, as I said in my Hades moon vid. And I'm starting off with the chart of this full moon in Taurus, 13 degrees, a human design graph. And you could see here that besides a 1-3 profile, we have a self-projected projector chart. So only one activation from the G center to the throat center through the 8-1. And this is the channel of, forgetting its generic name, but this particular authority is about a subtle knowingness. It's just what you know. It's a knowingness that can be overridden, or it has to be felt in a subtle way because the emotions can, or the sacral or the spleen can overpower your feelings or and I mean like the aspects of others or the authorities of others can overcome it. So those with self-projected authority, those projectors who have this, it's very subtle knowingness. And so feel into that today. The full moon was quite impactful this morning and last night. And today the storms have come in. It's raining many places. The winds are pretty fierce. And we're beginning our descent into the underworld, which will culminate on November around the 19th with the new moon in Scorpio. And this buildup is unrelenting. There are waves and waves of aspects and transitions and entrances and exits over and over every day, almost until the new moon. And so there's a building and a building and a building. And this 1 and 8 is in the planets that are in these two particular gates are the sun. So this will be for the next 5 days. I'll do the gateway video next, and or prior to this, one or the other. And then in gate 8, we have Uranus. And so this will be active for the next week, maybe longer. I feel like another planet's going to go into that gate, but I'll have to double check. And I'm going to go ahead and share now the astrology chart for this full moon. And so here we have the astrology chart for the full moon. And as you can see, this is right before the new moon. So here on the West Coast, it would have been around 4 in the morning. And you could see that Mars is in Sag, 0 degrees. So it's hitting that opposition with Uranus. Sudden anger, sudden violence, sudden shifts. And I think we're all feeling a lot of shifty energy right now. There's been a lot of quakes and around the world in the last couple of days since the 29th in Afghanistan, and a lot of high strange incidents and activities. I think there was a recent finding of piles of dead cadavers in Nevada and other strange news. Of course, more developments with digital illusory prison attempts. And it seems that this Taurus new moon is slow to process the emotional awareness, but it will over a period of this week. We have Uranus going back into Taurus on the 8th. On the 7th, Mars is going to enter Scorpio. We can see it here in Sag, so it will go retrograde, it seems. And that will be a shift in power dynamics. Well, that's Venus, sorry. That's Venus going into Scorpio. You can see it here at 28 Libra. So relationships will be entering the underworld this month. Mars is in Sag and it's moving through Sag with that opposition to Uranus. And then on the 10th, Mercury will go retrograde from Sagittarius into Scorpio. And so Mercury will be returning to the underworld and it will pause on the new moon in Scorpio around the 19th in order to burn in the heart of the sun. And so Mercury's essence will be awake and aware. And it will be retrograding back into an exact opposition with Uranus. So this is a sudden, shocking shift around the 19th of this month. Who knows what's going to occur? Be wary, be aware. Don't plan any big trips during this period of the 19th to the 23rd, 24th. These are marked days of this new moon in Scorpio. This is a very deep and dark period of the underworld. And of course, we're in retrograde at this time as well, not just with Mercury, but with Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. So be careful around this time of the month. The energy continues to build towards this new moon. On the 11th, that's when Mercury goes retrograde, as I was mentioning. And on the 12th, Mercury will conjunct Mars. So on its way to Uranus, it will conjunct Mars. So there'll be an intense making of boundaries on the 12th. In fact, Mercury conjunct Mars on the 12th could also incite and ignite something fierce on November 12th as well. So those are two dates to watch out for this month, the 12th and the 19th through the 24th. And after the new moon, the sun will enter Sagittarius on November 22nd, and then there'll be Mercury will retrograde. And I have in my notes here, it will conjunct Venus on the 25th. Yeah, Venus will have moved that far already. So looks like the end of the month will be a little calmer and sweeter after the nightmare of mid-month. And I want to make a reminder here that when planets are in such intensity, this kind of adversity actually pushes us into reaction or response. So we get a lot complete during times of great stress. Of course, there's positive frequencies of stress and negative frequencies of stress. And so that'll depend on your ability to flow with the shifts and changes and sudden turns. And so adapt to that, take care of your nervous system so it can adapt to these changes and shifts. It's especially dissonant and discordant with the Mercury retrograde as communication will face deep challenges, but with patience and penetration of Scorpionic Pluto into the underworld, great truths can be arrived at and great and deep understandings can be can occur. And so it's a time of real connecting with others, especially in relationship. And there could be tears, but the reward will be understanding and compassion. And I'm going to share the new moon chart now. This is the November 19th astrology chart for November. I mentioned some of these aspects, but as you can see, there will be the sun, moon, and Mercury all conjunct together with Venus, all in Scorpio, all in the underworld, and Mars having moved ahead into Sagittarius. which is like the bow, the arrow turned far back, ready to unleash into the world. And Jupiter will have turned retrograde on the 11th. If I think I shared that. And so now there will be, at this point of the month, 5 planets in retrograde, including Chiron. And all these planets in Scorpio will be in exact opposition to Taurus, to Uranus and Taurus. So this is immense, sudden, catastrophic surprise and shock. And this is going to touch to the heart of who we all are and where we're all at, as Mercury will be Cazimi in the heart of the sun, as well as it being a new moon, so moon conjuncting the sun as well in the heart, and Uranus in that opposition. So this is the energy of the sun, of the life force, together with the moon's emotional instinct and conditioning, together with our minds and our hearts, all in tension, all being challenged by sudden incursions of precognition into other realities, with Uranus opposing. And so watch out, they're going to slip something into our reality. They're going to edit something in during this time of the 19th through the 24th. They like to tamper with this realm and create illusions for us so that we take it as some kind of reality. But know that it's just manipulations. Know that it's just illusions. Don't take it fully to heart, but at the same time, prepare and understand what's occurring, and be safe and connect with others. If it's something intense like a Carrington event, just make sure you have food and water ahead of time. It's hard to say what will occur this month. I do not think it'll be a financial collapse, but it could be something very shocking. Um, Mars is not involved, so I don't see it related to war, but I see it related to electricity with Uranus involved, like a sudden outage, power failures. And it looks like a lot of Earth disruptions as well this month, with Uranus having retrograded into Taurus, which is the Earth, sudden shocks and shifts. And that's what it looks like from the human design chart. I'm going to pull that up. Oh, that's the wrong chart. So here's the chart for November 19th. So this is the new moon chart. And as you can see on this chart, we have the sun in gate 14. We continue to have a self-projected chart, where at this time the Earth opposite the sun gate will be in gate 8. And then we have in gate 1 Venus there now. And so whatever crisis occurs during the new moon this month, then the subtle knowingness of your higher self will be present and aware. So touch into that and try not to panic. There will be waves of crisis ready for mutation as we have activation of Saturn in the 36. So those with the 35 will be activating this transformation, this transmutation into crisis, and mutating through the crisis. And we will have focus with gate 9. With gate 60, we will be dealing with limited resources. With gate 14, we'll have energy to protect ourselves and move out of danger. And with the mental energies here, we'll have energy to figure out what we can do to help ourselves and others if there's an emergency of some sort on a wider scale during this time. The profile of this particular day will be 4-6, the right angle cross of contagion, line 4. So whatever news spreads during this time with Mercury in gate 14 conjunct the sun, Cazimi at the heart of the sun, the information will spread quickly and rapidly, whatever it is. I'm going to peek and see if I have any other charts to share before I end this. I'm going to share the chart for the end of the month. This is the human design chart for, it looks like the end of the month. It's a pure MG chart 1-4, right angle cross to the sleeping phoenix individuality. Looks like we have active the 3420, being in the now. Those who need it, especially the non-energy types, the projectors, reflectors, and manifestors, you will have extra energy at the end of this month. And also adaptive behavior to what's occurring. And looks like we'll have some time to process whatever it is that has occurred on the 19th and that has been building during this time. I'll leave it at that. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys are taking breaks from any big plans this month. It's definitely cautioned against to make big plans this month with the retrograde in Mercury and the additional retrogrades. A lot of sudden shifts and plans change and flights canceled and weather anomalies and just sudden shocks to the nervous system all around. And so take it easy, get a lot of rest so you can handle the roller coaster that November will be. And I'll see you guys in the next Dreamwave in December. Okay, thanks so much for listening. Take care.